Howdy, folks. I'm actually making a part three now because of how profound this dream is. Just to clarify some things and make a couple of points that I think are necessary. But before that, I know I mentioned that I was going to share my near death experience podcast in a couple of videos ago. I'm actually going to share it down below here. So, Quantum 369, you'll see it right here, okay? Just so you know. What I want to talk about is the last couple of days I've been really meditating deeply, trying to dig deep into my memories as to how I remember the sky look like. And I also decided that it's unfair for people that haven't noticed these changes for me not to discuss in detail what I even mean because I haven't even made a video discussing in detail what changed and how it looks different to me and to dozens of people I've spoken to on the internet and in person who have noticed the same exact changes. So to those that have not, I'm not judging them. I just wanted to be clear that I'm not implying that you're necessarily a pod person or experiencing this reality in a virtual reality setting. Even if you are, it is what it is. That the truth is stranger than fiction. We have to accept what is. So there are many possibilities. I watched the film, one of my favorite movies of all time, actually, a few days back that I used to have on VHS as a child, Dances with Wolves. And I watched it again and I paid special attention to the sky in the movie. And the sky in that movie is how I remembered it. It's very hard to describe because some of these changes are subtle. So it's not very easy to describe. So, for example, like often when I go out and I look at the clouds and I look at their formation, not only are there seemingly dozens of new types of clouds that I don't recall at all, forget about even my childhood, even just like a decade ago or in my teenage years. And not only are there all kinds of new types of clouds, I've seen perfectly symmetrical square clouds recently, and I made a video on it. I've seen bizarre formations. I've seen like faces up there, and I made videos on that. You guys seen that here? Just things that look completely artificial, completely unnatural, like somebody is or something is creating the clouds. So as opposed to in the prior reality where it just felt and looked like a natural and organic earthly formation, it doesn't feel natural or organic to me. It feels like it's a controlled setting. It feels like the Truman Show. His sky was a controlled dome. It was a controlled stage essentially. So with the sky and also the colors, I often see these bizarre sunsets with green colors and purple, and I've seen gorgeous sunsets, guys. When I lived in Arizona for 7 years, and when I discuss digging back deep into my memories, being in Arizona and Tucson, when I was a kid, I was always outside. I was playing tennis, like John was talking about a lot, and baseball, and rollerblades, and bikes, and basketball, and football. And I spent the whole day in 100-degree heat. And I'm not saying the heat wasn't intense. Like, of course, it would get pretty intense if you're out in the heat and you don't drink water like anywhere else. But it doesn't compare anything, nothing compared to what I'm experiencing today. So I would be able to sit in the sun hours, hours and hours and hours with no hat and just, it would be joyful to me. Like I would soak in the sun and it would be pleasant on my skin. It would feel like it was life giving to me. Like it was emanating a divine sort of energy that I was taking in. Now it's the exact opposite. I go outside, it feels like it's taking life away from me. It feels like it's extracting my life force in order to give my life force to something else. And the people who have experienced this will understand what I'm talking about because you know that that's happening to you. Not only that, the physical appearance. So often the sun looks very tiny. In Arizona, I have other memories. When I lived in Brooklyn, New York, we'd go to Brighton Beach. I'd be out on the beach and the sun would be big, bright, and yellow, and it would emit these rays, these big rays that would just encompass the entire sky. And they still have rays, but they don't look right. To me, they don't look right at all. And I spent a whole summer with my family in Crimea, what is today Russia, and all day at the beach there too, soaking the sun, loving it. This was when I was 13. So often when I look at the sun, sometimes I see a white sun, and sometimes I see a blue sun, like this color right here. It's blue. And I would film it. I would take pictures and I would film it, and it's blue. Why should the sun be blue? I mean, is it atmospheric? Is it the ozone layer? The scientists will tell me this and tell me that. You don't understand this and that, but that doesn't do it for me, guys. No amount of scientific jibber jabber is gonna change this for me. I'm sorry. Because the appearance is just too profoundly different. And same with the moon. Not only is the moon much smaller, like in the dream where I was at work and shown the underground base, the big moon emanating that radiant natural sunlight from our real sun is what I saw in the dream. The moon now is a light bulb. It looks like freaking fake. It looks like somebody took a flashlight, and it doesn't look like it's 200,000 miles away at all. And neither does the sun. The prior ones did. They very much look like they were very far away, but not this. This is different. Um, so yeah, the color of the moon, the size of the moon, even the phases of the moon, the angle at which those phases are in is off. The position in the sky is completely off. Everything. Everything, guys. And those of you who understand what I'm saying know exactly what I'm talking about. So, just to clarify that point once and for all, this video is specifically for those, like I discussed. Look, I talked with a family member the other day, and out of respect, I'm not going to say who it was. I discussed with them our son in detail, and I asked them detailed questions about how they remembered it as a child, etc., etc. And this person told me that it's actually better now than it was before. It's actually less intense and more pleasant, which to me makes more sense. There are some days out there, guys, where it's unbearable. I go out, this is why I run at night. This is why I work out at home. This is why I'm always in the shade when I'm outside during the day. Because when I say literally unbearable, I mean literally unbearable. Literally, like I start getting dizzy, I start getting disoriented, my heart would start pounding out of my chest, I would feel drained. Like speaking of tennis, I went over to Hemet to my wife's cousin birthday or whatever, and we played tennis and football, and I felt absolutely horrible for the rest of the night. I was outside and I felt drained. I felt off. It was disgusting. I felt like my energy was siphoned from me. So keep in mind, guys, for those who have accepted to continue life in a virtual reality setting, they are immersed in the VR, and to them, this appears natural. So when they are outside, they are unable to see the raw technological components that the Mandela affected people are witnessing. So what we are seeing is technology. We're seeing highly advanced, most likely extraterrestrial tech because we are not in the VR setting. We're seeing the raw components that create the simulator Earth that we were somehow transferred into. That's why my friends I've talked to see it the same way. Are we all mentally ill, guys? Are me and there's probably millions of people around the world. I mean, go on Reddit. I mean, I go on Reddit. You could read countless stories of go to Glitch in the Matrix, go to the Mandela Effect subreddits. There is a lot of stories of people experiencing glitches, experiencing things like this. So, are we all collectively mentally ill? I somehow doubt it. One more word, guys. It's interesting to me. Also, the psychological, subconscious element of iPad Go 2. If indeed my dream was true, which obviously we can't confirm or deny this, am I and many other people around the world, are we chasing iPad Go 2, which came out in 2012, trying to figure out a date that has already occurred? Is this all an Antichrist thing? Did he come and was he responsible for this destruction and inserting us into a VR realm? That's a possibility we have to think about. Here I am for years trying to figure out the dates of World War III and iPad Go 2, blah, 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 and the destruction of the world, which it shows clearly the world being destroyed. And what if the world was already destroyed right after iPad Go 2 came out? And here I am looking at it, looking at something that already happened. And thousands of other people and dozens of other YouTubers who dedicate their entire channel trying to figure out the numerology in iPad Go 2 and all the ciphers and everything that is placed there. Think outside the cube, guys. That's all I ask of you. Think outside the cube because things are not as they seem.